Hello everyone, this is Sir Amir Khan and today we are again back with electrostatics. In today's video, we will discuss about capacitance, capacitor, parallel plate capacitor, capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor and effect of dielectric on capacitance. So without wasting much time, let us start with capacitance. Capacitance, as everyone might be knowing, is the charge storing capacity of a conductor. So, we can define capacitance as the measure of the ability of a conductor to store charge, or it can also be defined as the ratio of electric charge to electric potential. Capacitance can also be defined as the charge required to raise the potential of a conductor through one unit. So basically, if we see the third definition or our first definition, what we defined capacitance as the measure of the ability of a conductor to store charge, or we define it as the ratio of electric charge to electric potential. So basically we have capacitance is equal to charge upon potential. So again, capacitance is the ratio of electric charge to electric potential. SI unit of capacitance is farad and its dimension is m-1 L-2 T power 4 and A square. If we have to define a farad, we can define it like capacitance is equal to 1 farad when 1 coulomb of charge is required to raise the potential by 1 volt. So capacitance of a conductor is said to be 1 farad when 1 coulomb of charge is required to raise that potential through 1 volt. Correct. We can see this from this again. Capacitance is equal to charge upon potential. This means capacitance will be 1 farad when 1 coulomb of charge is required to raise the potential by 1 volt. Moving on to capacitors. A capacitor is nothing but two conducting bodies separated by a non-conducting medium such that it can store a large amount of electric charge in a small space. If you would have studied about dielectrics, you would have known what I meant. So basically we have an arrangement of two parallel plates, and between them a dielectric is placed or nothing is there, so that means insulator is there, and because of this system there a charge can be stored there. We will discuss with it in detail, but let us for now understand only the definition. A capacitor consists of conducting bodies, two conducting bodies separated by a non-conducting medium such that it can store a large amount of electric charge in a small space. The pictorial representation of a capacitor is something like this, and for a variable capacitor it can be like this. So now we move on to parallel plate capacitor. Even though capacitors are of many types, they can be spherical also, but what we have in our syllabus, it is only parallel plate capacitor. So a parallel plate capacitor consists of two parallel conducting plates separated by a certain small distance. Let us see the diagram to understand this. So this is our arrangement of a parallel plate capacitor. So basically it has an already charged conductor A and another conductor plate which is very far from A and the end has no charge on it. This plate you can see is connected to earthing, but although it is not earthed right now. As we bring this plate B closer, something like this happens. charges are induced on B. Because it is positively charged, the nearer end will have negative charge and the further end will have positive charge. Now this positive charge will try to increase the potential of plate A, and this negative charge will try to decrease the potential of plate A. Because the negative charge is closer, its effect is higher. So basically the potential of plate A decreases when plate B comes near it. Now when the potential decreases, we know that capacitance, let us write the formula again, is equal to charge by potential. And when the potential has decreased, capacitance cannot change. So what happens here? Let us try to understand what is happening here, that we have Q is equal to C into V. And because potential has decreased, the charge here has decreased. Basically, like I am having some charge, but to this system this charge appears to be less than what it can accommodate. Now when the charge is less than what I can accommodate, what happens? I can accommodate more charge, and therefore this capacitor can have more charge in it. Okay. Now if I earth it, this is earthed here, all the positive charges move to the earth. Now the positive charge cannot move out, electrons can come in to take the place. So all the positive charge has been earthed and we are only left with negative, and negative we know that decreases the potential, and therefore the potential is decreased much higher here than here, and therefore it has a better capacitance. Now if you have not understood, let us again have it. This part is increasing the potential of plate A, this part is decreasing the potential of plate A. Because this part is closer, the potential decreases. When potential decreases, we know that C is equal to Q by V or Q is equal to CV. So this means our potential decreased and therefore the charge stored here has decreased. So now we can store a little bit of extra charge here, even though a little bit, but little bit of extra charge here, and this means that more charge can be stored by this combination than this combination. When they are further away, it was not working as capacitors. So this is how capacitor works. Now how much capacitance is developed in a capacitor? Let us try to find this out. Capacitance of parallel plate capacitor. Here we have two parallel plates. One is having charge plus Q and charge density plus sigma. Other one is having charge minus Q and charge density minus sigma. And both the plates are separated by distance d. The electric field between the two plates is given by E is equal to sigma upon epsilon naught, which you might be knowing from Gauss law. But now what again we know from previous chapter is, even from this chapter, is that the electric field intensity is equal to dV upon dr. Now, from equipotential surface we had this formula. We are only talking about the magnitude right now, not the direction also, but only magnitude. dV here we can take it as V potential, and dr is equal to distance, which is equal to d here. So we have E equals V upon d, or from here we can have V equals to E into d. Correct. Now from equation number 1 we have E is equal to sigma upon epsilon naught, and if I put it here we get V equals to sigma d upon epsilon naught. Now if you remember, sigma is equal to Q upon A, charge per unit area. I put it here, I get Q d upon epsilon naught A. Or if I have to find only Q, Q is equal to A epsilon naught V upon d, or Q upon V becomes equal to epsilon naught A upon d, like V have been transferred here. Q upon V is equal to epsilon naught A upon D, and now we remember that we had just studied Q upon V as capacitance. So capacitance is equal to epsilon naught A upon D. Let us again try this out. Electric field sigma upon epsilon naught from Gauss law. Electric field dV upon dr from equipotential surface. So from here we get potential is equal to E into D, or V is equal to sigma D upon epsilon naught, or V is equal to Q D upon epsilon naught A, or Q upon V equals epsilon naught A upon D, and basically Q upon V equals to capacitance C. So we have C is equal to epsilon naught A upon D here. Moving on to one of the most important topics for board exams, which is effect of dielectric on capacitance. So here let us increase the diagram and understand what it is. Like we are having two parallel plates having charges plus and minus Q supposedly. Between them there was earlier vacuum, nothing was there, vacuum or air, vacuum. The two plates are separated by distance d, but now a dielectric is placed in it which is having a thickness of T. So before the dielectric was placed, the electric field was E naught. As the dielectric is placed, what is happening? Because of this negative, a positive develops here, and because of this positive, a negative develops here. So inside we are having an electric field polarization, EP, in the opposite direction. E naught going in this direction and EP in the opposite direction. So in this area, in this region, we can say that the net electric field will be equal to E naught minus EP. And in the outer region, this region, it will be equal to E naught only. Correct, because in this region there is no dielectric, so only E naught. So we basically already know that C equals to epsilon naught A upon D. For our simplicity, we have taken it as C naught, which is the initial capacitance or original capacitance. Now when I am having this setup of capacitors, then the potential will be given by, earlier it was given by E into D, now it will be given by E naught into this distance, which is equal to D minus D, correct, plus E naught minus EP into this distance, which is equal to T. So we have potential as E naught D minus T plus E into T, where E is equal to E naught minus EP. Okay. Now, if someone remembers about dielectric constant was the ratio of the original electric field or applied electric field to the reduced value E naught upon E. From here you can have E equals to E naught upon K, just transfer E up and K down. So if I put it in the equation number 2, we get V equals E naught D minus T plus E naught upon K into T, or V equals, I am taking out E naught common from here, E naught into D minus T plus T upon K. Now if you remember, E equal to sigma upon epsilon naught. So E naught is sigma upon epsilon naught, or Q upon A epsilon naught, where sigma is equal to Q upon A. Now if I put the value of E, we get V equals to Q upon epsilon naught A D minus T plus T by K. Now if I have to find the capacitance, how do I find the capacitance? I just use the formula C equals to Q upon V. So it becomes Q upon, this is the value of V, Q upon epsilon naught A D minus T plus T by K. Q cancels out. This epsilon naught A is third place, goes up. So our capacitance becomes epsilon naught A upon D minus T plus T by K. If I take D common, outside from all of these. If I take D out, here it has D, so it just comes out, and here is 1 left. Here there is no D already, so what happens? It gets divided by D, and here also there is no D, so it gets divided by D. So I get epsilon naught A by D 1 minus T by D plus T by KD or dk, whatever you would like to write. Epsilon naught A upon D, if I see, was our equation number 1, which is equal to C naught, original capacitance. So I can say C is equal to C naught upon 1 minus T by D plus T by KD. If I take T by D common from here, T by D common from here, from both of these, I am left with 1 minus T by D into, take minus common, so here there is no minus now, 1. This was plus and the common is minus, so it becomes minus T by D was gone to 1 upon K. This is the formula for capacitance due to a dielectric of any thickness. But what if the dielectric was completely filled? Like this is our dielectric and it is completely filling this. Then if I have T is equal to D, thickness is equal to distance between the plates, C equals to C naught upon 1 minus, like D by D, you can also take T by T into 1 minus 1 by K. D upon D is 1, we get 1 minus 1 plus 1 by K. If I open this bracket, this minus comes in, minus 1, this minus goes here, minus into minus plus 1 by K. 1 minus 1 is 0, and we get C naught upon 1 upon K. This K at third place goes up, C naught upon 1 upon K, or C is equal to K into C naught. This is the required equation if our entire medium is filled with a new dielectric. So that will be all for today. In the next video, we will discuss about combination of capacitors, energy stored in a capacitor, energy density, and redistribution of charges and energy loss when capacitors are connected in parallel. If you have liked this video, please do subscribe to my channel, share my channel, like the video, spread it to others also. Thank you and have a nice day.